What made you start going to the gym? Story 1. Once I hit my 30s, I realized I needed to keep active and stay in shape for the long term. Answer. The timing can vary from early 20s to mid-30s, but I think most of us tend to have a moment where you realize you have to start properly taking care of your body at some point, because it's not magically going to stay in good condition itself. Story 2. Just lurking on the comments to find motivation to go to the gym. Answer. Mental health is the best reason, IMO. You know you're doing good for yourself. The hardest part is just going. Start off slow, even just walking on the treadmill with headphones on or watching the TV on it. It will blossom, and before you know it, you'll be in a routine you enjoy. Answer. I used to have a personal trainer for about a year, 3 days a week, 90 minutes per. It didn't matter that it was routine for me. I still hate the gym and working out. I hate the high blood pressure, heart rate. I hate sweating. I stopped going. I was waiting for that enjoyment that everyone seems to talk about that kicks in when it's regular routine, but exercising always just makes me feel sick afterward. I liked saving the money more. TLDR, some of us don't enjoy it regardless. Story 3. Not the gym, but I started running to raise money in memory of my son. It also helped with my mental health. I'm not the fastest person, but I've managed to do a couple of half marathons and raised a few £1,000s for charities. I get to wear my son's name on my shirt for the world to see. Story 4. I had a mental breakdown that turned into a psychotic episode from various pressures in life at the time that I wasn't equipped to handle. It was genuinely the scariest thing that's happened to me in my entire life. I cannot stress enough how terrifying it was to watch me say, do, and see things that were not me. My doctor told me I needed a lifestyle change, and I was so scared of having another episode that I listened to them as if their word was gospel. I started jogging, hated it, but loved the endorphins or runner's high that I'd get at the end of it. It could last almost all day and made me feel a lot more centered and balanced. I switched to the gym when a friend asked if I wanted to go. I always thought I'd hate the gym and that it wasn't for me until I discovered classes. I love going to the classes with other people. Being around like-minded folks just makes me want to give my best. Been doing it for almost 2 years now, haven't felt better. Story 5. Several years ago, I went to gym every day of the week. I was jacked, got laid a lot, felt good about myself, more energy, and then I just abruptly stopped. This summer, when I was putting on my trunks while on vacation, I took a good look at myself in a mirror, and I started wondering what I would have looked like today if I just kept on going instead of smashing beers. Needless to say, I do not look jacked anymore, more on the fatty side. The day I got back from vacation, I signed up for a gym membership, and here we go again. Answer. Same exact thing happened to me this summer. Beginning of June, damn near had a six-pack and running 10 miles daily with weightlifting. Summer happened, and 2 months later, I can feel love handles now, lol. Answer. It's been more than 5 years since I had a six-pack, but it was glorious. So now I need to get rid of 5+ years of smashing beers and full dinners. Think I'm up to like 200 pounds, so it's not so much, but damn. My old clothes are still in my wardrobe, and next summer I'll be damned if they don't fit me again. Story 6. Going to the gym has a ripple effect on your life. It makes you want to do everything better, makes you feel better, eat better, dress better, work better. It makes sense, though. You're taking care of yourself, LOL. Like, wow, that's the secret right there, the gym. Answer. This is exactly how I feel. It doesn't solve all your problems, but it makes so many better and easier mentally and physically. It really is like brushing your teeth. And once you start seeing it that way, you start to wonder why you walked around for so long with a mouthful of cavities. Story 7. I found a great personal trainer who worked with me to make exercise enjoyable, at a pace I could regulate, and an environment that wasn't intimidating. I'd tried gym solo as well as classes, but found the entry barrier quite high, physically and or mentally. Story 8. So I'm not an unhealthy POS, and I can actively participate in my kids' lives and eventually my grandkids' lives. My kids have certain grandparents that refuse to come to games or refuse to spend time with them sometimes, simply because they are out of shape and can't even stand for an extended period of time. I see how disappointed my kids are when they get denied time, and I will never do that to mine. Story 9. I went to rehab and the place had a gym. I thought I might as well get back into it since it's a no extra cost membership, and I don't have shit else to do. A tech at the facility was a former juice head and loved getting guys going in the gym and was nothing short of a personal trainer for my month in there. I've been lifting for 4 months now, got healthily addicted to it, and it's been 138 days since my last drink. Story 10. Being insecure about my scrawny body all through puberty and seeing it didn't become better in my early 20s. I was just tired of hating what I saw in the mirror. The childhood bullying didn't help either. 42 now. Still lifting weights, mainly maintenance, and it helps with martial arts too. A muscular karateka will have an edge over a scrawny one of equal skill. Story 11. Seeing my dad train, using homemade weights when I was a kid, always something that stuck with me. The moment I was old enough for the people behind the counter to let me in, that was it. I was hooked. Now 27 years later, still at it. It's gotten me through a lot of difficult times, mentally plus the obvious physical benefits. I'm a big advocate of it when it comes to combating depression. Story 12. Got tired of having skinny arms and legs attached to a chunky torso. I've been working out for ages, but I'm not big, but at least I look balanced. And also as you age, you lose muscle, which I'm keen not to do lest I end up like I was before. Carrying extra muscle is generally very good for your health. I'm still a bit chubby overall, but that's diet. That can wait till after my holidays, haha. Story 13. After the divorce, I needed something to take my mind off the trauma bond, so I stayed busy by going to the gym. True to form, my narcissistic ex-wife found it hilarious. After all, I'm 52. It's not like I'll ever be anything other than a fat fucking slob, right? It's been a year. I'm down 50 pounds. The six-pack is coming in nicely. I can only thank her for her ridicule and laughter at my desire to slim down and transform. It's exactly the fuel I needed to make it happen. Story 14. Pretty funny, actually. I didn't go to the gym regularly until I got married, and my wife was always asking me to go, and I would say we would, but then got lazy. So to motivate me, she wore extra tight outfits and had some cleavage and said she was going to the gym. I have gone with her every time now. She doesn't always dress like that, and I don't always go, but when she does, I'm guaranteed to accompany her. Call it what you want. She likes it. I'm happy and healthy. Story 15. Had a random case of cardiac palpitations last fall that was my body giving me a tap on the shoulder. After full tests and lab work, I recognized it was time, now 40 years old, to refocus my eating, dieting, and gym habits, especially when several males in my family died young. I still have bad weeks, but the weight is coming off, and I'm getting stronger each week. I'm already way better than where I was last year. I'm here for the long haul. Story 16. I started going to the gym because of body dysmorphia. I wasn't at an unhealthy weight before hitting the gym, but I still couldn't stand looking at myself in the mirror. My efforts really paid off, and now I feel more confident and healthy both mentally and physically. Story 17. I quit smoking, tobacco, and joints and became heavy due to snacking all the time. Then one night my wife said she liked my round and soft tummy. The next morning I saw my little daddy tits in the mirror, and that was 3 years ago. I am gym bro now. 3 days a week in the gym, 3 days in the week kickboxing and Muay Thai. My wife likes my abs and chest, and the kids like getting lifted high up by me. Story 18. I shattered my ankle and was in a wheelchair for half a year, and took me a couple years of recovery and physical therapy. At one point, my insurance dropped me from physical therapy, but since their office was inside of a gym, I got a really good discount for being a patient, so I got a membership and a trainer that could work with my PT on keeping me going. After a couple years of intense PT and a year of training, I was in the best shape of my life. Lost 110 pounds. Unfortunately, I haven't been back to the gym in a few years since I started a business that's taken up all my time, but I've been wanting to get back to it. Story 19. I herniated a disc in my back when I was 16, pretty badly. I spent most days in bed because it was difficult to stand up straight and walk. I was maybe 10 to 15 pounds overweight. After a few months of that, my mom took me to doctors who just said I was an obese teen who needed to lose weight and I would be fine. I finally got an MRI in 2016. I was, I think, 22 at the time. Huge herniation. I had surgery, felt a bit better, and started to go to the gym. By that time, I had ballooned up to 250 pounds. I could hardly stand, walk, worked a desk job, ate like shit, and drank every night. I started biking to work, would work out at the gym at the hospital I worked at, had a rehab facility, and membership was free for employees if you go 3x a week. Bike home, ate really well. I went from 250 to 162 in about 8 months. Then I herniated the disc again, had another back surgery, and got my right leg paralyzed. And in post-op imaging, the disc was herniated again 6 months after surgery. I got pregnant in 2020 and put on about 25 pounds from that. I was feeling back about the weight gain because I've always had body image issues. Mom put my in Weight Watchers at 5th grade. I was just a little chubby. Not like I was on my way to my 600 pounds life. Anyway, the postpartum depression hit hard. Eventually started drinking again. Found out some really hurtful stuff my husband was doing. I was back up to 280, heaviest I've ever been. Lost 40 between August and November last year, but then started drinking again. Just quit drinking again, so now I gotta go lose another 80 pounds again. It's hard work, man. Story 20. In my mid-20s, my boss gave me her gym pass every week for 2 days. I started going because it was free. It was a barcode you scan, so easy to just walk in. The fact it was free made it that much more appealing to me, and the gym was literally across the street from our work. I do weightlifting classes and hot yoga regularly for years. Because of that, I now try to keep up with exercise. Not as diligently as that, but thanks to her 15 years later, it's still part of my lifestyle. I do classes because if I'm left to my own devices, I just won't do it. Reformer classes, boxing, yoga, etc. Back then, my motivation was one. It was free and so close by, so why not? And two, so I could eat and drink whatever I want. Now that I'm older, my motivation is to be able to pick up my dog, reach in the back of the low cupboards, eye mobility as I get older. I'm still lazy at heart, but I feel so much better after working out. If you don't use it, you lose it. Story 21. As a kid, I was super skinny and didn't want to be. Turns out being tall with a model figure attracts more women than a bunch of muscles. But I like every single other aspect of being bigger and stronger. My gym closed for COVID and I tried working out at home, but without a full set of weights, it got boring and I was starting to slack off and lose strength. Started back recently and am enjoying it, other than I have a longer way to go to catch back up than I expected. Story 22. Was in incredible shape in my early 20s. Then severe alcoholism kicked in and managed to get up to just shy of 300 pounds by mid-30s. Quit drinking back in May. Then shortly after realized I had been paying for my gym membership all this time without knowing. Whoops, was going to cancel it, then thought, what the hell, why not use it? At the moment, I'm down about 50 pounds. Also, lifting heavy objects repeatedly helps push away thoughts of drinking, so it's a win-win. Story 23. I got real curious about the Muay Thai gym in the nearest city to my house. They offered an intro week where you got a newbie lesson and a week's worth of classes for free. I happened to have a week off while I was changing jobs and decided to go. Haven't stopped going. Can now kick people in the head, and I don't flinch when strikes come to my face. Story 24. This one day I was about to miss the bus, so I ran to catch it for like 50 meters. I was out of breath for 20 minutes afterwards, covered in sweat. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I was 21 at the time. I came home that evening, looked in the mirror, and hated what I saw. Noodle arms, huge love handles, saggy man boobs. I remember thinking like, man, if I feel and look like this at 21, what are my 40s and 50s going to be like? So I had a fuck it moment and signed up for a gym the next day. Been a gym bro for over 10 years now. Best decision I ever made. Story 25. Looking a certain way is too superficial for me to care enough to change my lifestyle. What got me was, it no longer felt good to move. The pressure on my joints of being overweight made me want to do nothing but continue to be sedentary. I got winded at the slightest bit of activity. I couldn't enjoy running outside with my dog for any period of time. Family history of diabetes, high blood pressure, heart issues, and high cholesterol. Having to buy a new wardrobe because my shirts suddenly rise above my stomach and my pants are squeezing my sides like a sausage casing. This one really hurts. Story 26. I sort of just did it on a whim. It's funny because most of my life I basically gave lifting zero thought. I wasn't against doing it or anything, but I never really gave it any consideration in the same way you might see other people partake in other random hobbies, but never think about doing it yourself. Then one day, I don't even remember why, but I just thought maybe I should give it a try. I think part of it was the fact that I heard coworkers talking about working out, which stood out to me because our work is actually already very physical. Back then, whenever I thought about the notion of exercising outside of work, my reaction would have been, hell no, I'm tired enough as it is. But my coworkers made me think twice about it, like, if they do it, maybe I could give it a shot too. Story 27. A picture my wife took during our family vacation in the summer of 2022. I looked horrible. Huge gut and some nice men tits, completely out of shape. That's what a stressful life does to you. After seeing that picture, I started buying some used gym equipment from eBay, and since then I work out 3 times a week. I'm currently in the best shape of my life, and I'm very happy that my wife took that picture and showed it to me. She said, "You look totally fine," but I know I wasn't. Story 28. My friend brought me back to the gym after 10 years of not going. After a few months of working out, it was like a switch flipped in my brain. I started getting upset that I had missed the gym that day, or that I wasn't feeling that wonderful rush of endorphins it was providing me. I came to the realization that it was just something I needed to continually do for myself, and now I drag my buddy to the gym when he falls off the horse. The same one that brought me. I'll never forget what he did for me that day. He had a hand in bringing me out of depression and changing my life for the better. Story 29. During COVID, I was working from home, and aside from a few cheap flights we booked, I rarely left the house. I looked for any excuse, and one day my wife and I were driving to a random bike store thinking about buying us some mountain bikes, and on our way we saw a pretty nice-looking gym. We stopped and just checked it out. It had everything we would want, including a pool so I could lap swim. The price was cheap, much cheaper than mountain bikes, and it was a place we could go where we didn't have to mask up and stand on floor stickers. We signed up on the spot. I went every day after work for about a year and was in really good shape. Then a bunch of bullshit followed by some good shit happened, and for 2.5 years I rarely went. A few months ago I weighed myself and was 1 pound shy of obese. I'm back. Every other day this time because my wife and I switch off while one watches the 1-year-old, but it's been 3 months and I've lost 24 pounds. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, like it, be sure to write comments, and share your stories.